It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and other comics from all over. We ended up in Japan because, due to the coronavirus, we wanted to see Asia before it was cancelled. The Talk Funny podcast from NagoyaRadio.com and Nagoya Comedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Welcome back to Talk Funny. Mark Bailey and Mike Miller is here.
Hi.
We were talking inside baseball, basically, with comics and secretly...
I think we were ruining our careers, wasn't that it?
I think we were in the middle of doing
I mean, ruining, for me, it's a potential career, because I never had a real career.
I think
but for you, you're ruining your career.
I think we were finished with finishing it. I think we were completely finished with that. But we were saying that a lot of backbiting that goes on at the bars, the bars in New York clubs are at the back. And all the comedians can talk crap about the guy who's on stage, and he can't hear it. So whoever's on stage, Gottfried would do this all the time about Seinfeld. He would imitate him, and the comics would be laughing. Sometimes it would get out of control. The comics are laughing louder
that they could hear
than they are at Seinfeld's joke.
Oh, I see.
And Seinfeld knew that Gottfried was imitating him. And Gottfried would be the one to introduce Seinfeld because he was the headliner. And Gottfried would come up and go, you know, some people, they introduce Seinfeld. Who are these people that introduce Seinfeld? Who are these people? I'm a people introducer. No, I'm not a people introducer. No deucing. No deucing. No introducing. No deucing. No. Who is this next guy? Well, you might know this guy. You might know this guy from the deli, or you might know this guy from the TV show that he never invites any of the other comics to. You might know him by his whiny nasal voice. Please welcome Jerry Seinfeld in his voice. And then Jerry would go, he had his act, so he never strayed. Yeah. He wouldn't address it on stage. He'd come back.
He's ironclad with his act, right? Isn't he?
So he'd get up and go, how about the snow? How about the snow? And people are like, why didn't you address what Gottfried did?
That's weird. That's weird.
Then he'd come back, but he was fuming. And he'd come back, and the MC is like thanking people and stuff, and Seinfeld's
ripping people a new a-hole backstage.
Yeah, me and Logan are there at the back of the bar, with Gottfried and Seinfeld. And Seinfeld's like, I don't talk like that. Who talks like that? I don't talk like that. Gottfried is in his voice like, you talk exactly like that. He's like, stop doing my voice. Stop doing my voice. He's like, I thought you said it's not your voice.
I don't think Gottfried was on Seinfeld in a cameo for some reason.
No, never.
No, never. And he was on the Cosby Show.
And Seinfeld didn't really drink. He didn't drink. He just had usually seltzer water or Sprite.
Oh, God.
And he would slam.
I can't relate to that.
He would slam it, spill Sprite, he'd storm out.
Oh, really?
The headliner storming out.
He spilled the Sprite.
And Gottfriid would always say after he left, he's like, who's spilling all this carbonated drink? Who are these carbonators? And we're laughing. All the comics are laughing.
He's great.
And Seinfeld's looking at us like, you're dead to me, right?
You're dead to me. When I have my internet podcast, not podcast, when I have my internet video series of having coffee with comedians, you are officially off the list.
But that's what Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Louis C.K., and Gottfried, they all had in common, and they've said it to one degree or another, is when your inner voice is telling you, you might want to stop now. If you don't stop, you're going to have some gold moments, or you're going to get banned. But if you don't get banned, you're going to really appreciate, you're going to really be glad you went there. Because most comics are just going to be safe.
You're right.
And they won't go there. And that's why I was doing when COVID.
That's why Sam Kinison was so amazing, because he would just go there.
When COVID broke, and I did the China jokes, and you could feel the.
Oh yeah, people weren't laughing at all.
The SJW millennials.
I was laughing, but I was laughing because people weren't laughing, but they were good jokes.
And I just decided to make the jokes about about telling Chinese jokes. Like, you're kind of quiet. You haven't had enough Chinese jokes. More China jokes?
You were doing the Gilbert Gottfried, the battering ram. You just like you keep hitting the door to the Citadel until you get through.
We're doing Chinese style jokes here, so you can't substitute. You have an A set and a B set. You can't substitute. No substitute. Good price for you.
No, it was good set. It was good set. I mean, the thing was, it was just the audience that night was of a certain persuasion. Here's the thing: is that some nights we get a very young audience, and they're a little more uptight about certain issues and things, and but I thought you were funny that night.
Well, it was it was the elephant in the room. You have to talk about.
Yeah, I get it.
It's the only thing going on.
I get it.
You can't talk about airplane food.
Yeah.
Can't talk about my wife. This is not as important as problems with my wife. It's affecting everybody. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, it was pretty funny, and I just wonder why nobody talked about what's going on. Because you have to be the first person to be too soon.
And the funny thing is, we had one guy. Remember that guy who came up to us after the show, and he was like, "What are the jokes that you guys really wanted to tell, but you couldn't tell?" Because I know that there were some jokes you really wanted to tell that you couldn't tell.
Do you want to do a mic check first before I answer that?
That was really weird. That was weird. I don't know. I think he was asking some questions. Just asking questions about the things. About history. About 1943. Just asking a few questions.
I really wanted to say the N-word 300 times.
I did, because it makes jokes much funnier.
Yeah, and I wanted to insult everybody, even though it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for asking. Is the mic check okay today whenever we do that? Or okay,
that was the most bizarre thing, yeah.
Talking to nationalist in-laws, you're not married, but you probably talk to people, Japanese people, and after a while you kind of realize, oh, so this is what this guy drives a black van, maybe, on the weekends.
I met a guy like that once, yeah.
So I had one of my bar hostess friends, and she has a friend. He's an older Japanese guy. And on his iPod is all these 1938 songs.
Of course.
And he's playing
Good old days.
Back at the time, this is during the
Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere.
The Sakura Festival. And he's playing all these songs. And then we had an event near to our office and kind of close to where you live, where the right-wing vans were having a demonstration.
Why didn't you invite me?
Yeah, our right-wing van.
I really wanted to go and support my black van compadres.
Her right-wing friend invited us. And she goes, hey, let's go. We've never been to a right-wing. She goes, it could be the last one we ever go to. I said, yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. First and last.
They might put you in front of the van and drive over you at some point.
And she's blonde. And I said, usually, Japan, they don't have blondes at these rallies.
Yeah.
In Europe, they did.
They did. They like that. And they like that in Europe. Yeah, a certain part of Europe. Yeah.
And she's like, well, what could go wrong? And I said, well, they don't like foreigners. There's cops everywhere. They don't like foreigners. Why are we going again? And I told her, my one-liner is, I'm not going near a black van unless I can drive it. And then I'm going to be playing Hava Nagila.
That would be awesome. But then they'd be calling calling you up and be like, hey, what's going on?
And then they would look up in English how to say, we bid Jew adieu. Mark Bailey, Mike Miller, and Talk Fun.